Here we are, Country Music News International, everyone. My name's Nigel Sharpe, and on the other end of this virtual line, we have Mr. Andrew Salgado. Anyway, let's get to some music now. One thing that I did read is that you are a singer, a songwriter, and a guitarist. Now, that's what I do. I
Yeah,
play guitar. So actually, it was the third one that kind of jumped out at me and said, "Oh, guitarist."
yeah.
And if I understand it correctly, you are a self-taught guitar player.
No, I've
No,
had a lot of teachers. When I was about 13 years old, I joined my dad's band, and it was pretty interesting because in the beginning I wasn't really able to do much with the band. It was just kind of like sit here and be our roadie and stuff. And then the guitar player was like, "Hey, do you want to learn guitar?" And I was actually looking for a piano teacher at that time because I really wanted to write songs. I couldn't find a piano teacher for months. I don't know what it was. It was early in Chicago. I just had no luck. And every piano teacher that I found was already busy. So he said, "Why
right.
don't you learn guitar? You can write songs on guitar."
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I really noticed when I was listening, particularly to the latest album, there are different sort of influences going on here. From different genres. There's some Latin influence. I mean,
Yeah,
well,
it's like a kaleidoscope.
yeah. Listening to a song like "Just Want to Dance"
Mhm.
and how it starts out, you think, "Wow, this sounds like almost electronic." This is
The
this
beat,
is
the
like
beat. Yeah, I built
different.
that. I actually got to produce 13 songs on this album too myself, and my engineer was originally from London too. So we
Okay,
flew him over to actually work on everything. So it's reminding me of listening to you talk was the entire process working with Brett. But
cool.
I built that beat, and I knew I wanted that guitar sound. And Brett was able to find something that was identical to what was in my mind, and we just built it from there. But it is a little bit more it is a little bit more poppy, and then you have songs like "Breathe" that definitely have a Latin influence. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm half Puerto Rican, half Italian, right? So I'm a mix from the beginning. And then when I was in my dad's band, they played everything top 40, from from the Beatles to Santana to Brooks and Dunn to Garth Brooks to Merle Haggard. Everything was jammed into one band, and so that's just kind of who I am. And when we made this album, I don't know if it was the fact that I had a lot of extra time to make it because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
but I just found myself going, it's all three chords in the truth, but it's kind of like a kaleidoscope. And if I really want to be honest and authentic, I probably have to do the things that I really, really want to do. And it's all, for me, based with an acoustic guitar first, and then melody and lyrics, right? And then everything else is kind of like a flavor, whether that's, a banjo on most of these songs, 16 banjo that we played, steel guitar, which I love steel guitar more than anything. When you listen to Learning How to Forget or Grace, it's hard not to fall in love with what the steel guitar is doing and the way that it moves you through that song.
Now you've got this brand new album,
Right.
which you're just about to start doing these release parties. What do you actually do for a release party?
Well, what we wanted to do with this was go into record stores since we have a vinyl record for the first
Right.
time and play in record stores. And it's been a lot of fun. We were just in Minnesota and there was really nowhere for anyone to sit because you're in a store. And we were playing and they were just standing and they all waited. And I remember somebody's phone went off and I just made a bit about it and everybody just cracked up. And it's probably the most fun I've had in a store. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
actually hate shopping, not shopping for music, but like shopping for clothes or just anything. And so as we've done this, originally it was like, well, maybe we'll do one. Let's call some and see what they said. And they were instant, like absolutely. We'll take a listen to the vinyl. You can come in and play all this other stuff. You can tell people about. And then it just turned into this, ball that just kept rolling. It's a weird kind of a party too because it's not the big kind of celebration. It's like a pop up show, and then here's a vinyl and a CD that you can buy. And I think it's cool. The reason I'm wearing this shirt, I've been wearing it all week because this is the first vinyl record store to have my vinyl, and they still have it in the stores today. People can go pick it up in Michigan City, Indiana. A guy named
Cool.
Tom Lounges, and he was just the nicest guy that I have ever met. You know, there's a lot of people in this industry, like because you've been in for a long time, that are super kind, but they don't have the knowledge of the industry. And then there are people who have the knowledge of the industry, which are not kind at all. And then you find some gems that have both.
So, do you actually perform then at these release
Oh,
party
yeah,
things?
a lot longer than I should.
Okay.
I did like 3 hours in Minnesota, and I get so excited when people are there that I just don't know how to stop sometimes.
So, what do
But
you do? Do you take like an acoustic guitar, or do you
yeah, you
play?
can't bring any kind of electric gear on something like this, especially when you're in a car. And we did one of them with a trio, cajon, cajon, two guitars.
Yeah.
Everything is just acoustic.
Coming back to your album, we've been talking this. There's quite a lot of guitar on it, acoustic, electric, and so on. How much of that is you?
Actually, me and my engineer almost played everything. You look at the metadata. I played banjo on this album, bass, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, background vocals, main vocals, and then like I said, I produced 13 tracks of it. So I can actually tell you which guitar is me and which guitar isn't. Like the solo for "I Just Want to Dance" is Brett, and it was hilarious too because he didn't have the effect on when he was practicing it, and I remember going like, "Oh, this sounds horrible," but let me just see what he does, and let me not say anything until he's finished. So I like walked out of the room just going like, "This is such an important solo. Like I should just play it." And then I was like, well, I don't really know like what I want to do. So I was like thinking about how I would play it. And then I walked back in and he put the effect on it. And then I was just like, oh no, that's perfect. I don't need to do that. The solo for "Break My Own Heart" was Brett too.
Okay.
Um, which was just, I mean, he came in there with like, what do you think? What do you think of this? And I was like, oh, that's pretty much it. And we also had a policy that whoever whoever plays the best version has to have it. And neither one of us had an ego. There were things that I came up with that he executed better, and vice versa too. And there were even times that he was really good at pushing me. I have a hard time with my ego, not really thinking that I'm good enough to play. And there were a lot of times that Brett was like, "No, that's fine. Just do that."
So, how did you hook up with Brett then in the first place?
My label found him. The issue came down to we really couldn't afford another producer. Like I wish there was a great story. There really wasn't. And so Doris was like, "Can you produce this on your own?" And I went, "Oh, I I've never really done it. Like I don't really know how to go about doing it." And what I kind of found out was that when the producer and artist are on the same page and you have a great engineer, it goes really smoothly. Like I had no fights with the artist and the producer on this album because they were both me.
Right.
And then I said too, if you want me to produce it, there has to be a top level engineer. And she said, I think I know one. I don't know if he's going to do it, but we'll set up a Zoom and you can talk. And we just hit it off. I mean, he's the kindest person ever. I fell in love with the way that he talks. A very big bromance. Hearing him say "fantastic," like I wish our language sounded so cool and always so nice. He always sounds so kind no matter what it was.
Yeah. So, what's coming up next for you? Do you have also gigs lined up?
We do, yeah. We're looking to do a lot more in the fall, but we will have some summer gigs too. We actually just landed a couple more the other day. I don't think I love anything more than writing music, and then second is playing shows. It's this kind of therapeutic healing process for me, where you get that amazing good feeling after it, and you feel like you've expressed something. Because
Yeah.
I truly believe songs aren't meant to be read; they're meant to be heard. So you'll have a real poetic line that somebody comes up with, but that doesn't sing well, and that doesn't touch anything. There's no emotion. It's just emotion on paper, And one of the things I love about this album is that I only wanted three slow songs. Number one, I wanted a more upbeat album. I didn't want a whole bunch of slow songs, and the songs that we chose they hit me so hard.
Yeah, putting your heart and soul into music, that is a very, very important thing, whether it's good. Andrew, we're already running 40 minutes. I have to cut these videos down to sort of manageable length. It's been lovely speaking to you.
I hope we get to really meet. I
Yeah.
promise you, we'll play guitar too. And if
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing a show, I'm probably going to pull you up on stage. So you just
Yes,
told me
please.
you need 5 guitars, so we'll make room.
Yes, I love to get up and jam with other musicians. Something always happens that you don't expect, and I love that. It's a kind of, it's almost like chaos theory, you know.
Yeah,
And I really quite like chaos because things can happen, that you don't expect. And I
yeah.
think that's
I
good in
love.
life. Anyway, thanks so much for taking the time to do the interview with us. We really do appreciate it. And we
You.
do miss you guys over here. So I hope you do manage to make it over sometime in the, let's say, the relatively near future. Andrew, thanks again for joining us. And on behalf of Country Music News International, my name's Nigel Sharpe. I've been speaking to Andrew Salgado. And Andrew, we wish you all the very best for the future. And you take care of yourself.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.